What's up, world? I am chosen. Chosen is me. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna still definitely focus on my game content and my K-pop content, but I don't want to bring something more because, like I said, I don't want to put myself in a bubble. I want to bring some variety. You know what I'm saying? Who like being basic? Who like just giving? When you go to a ice cream shop, who the heck gets one flavor? Or like when you make it a sundae, just regular ice cream cones are kind of boring, except cookies and cream. Cookies and cream gon' do it every time. Every time they never fail. But when you make a sundae and like when you go to school, y'all remember them days when you went to school and y'all had like that Sunday day where you made a sundae. Who the heck just get the ice cream? It's so basic. You know what I'm saying? You gotta drizzle a little chocolate syrup on it. You gotta sprinkle some sprinkles on it. Throw a M&M. I mean, a Skittle here and there. Throw you a little caramel on top with a little whipped cream and a cherry. Man, come on. I ain't basic. I'm not basic. It's not in my blood. It's not. So, with that being said, I'm gonna give y'all some of these Llama Art animations. I've always wanted to create animation. I be wanting to do a lot. Man, if I had two of me, talking about owning the world, man, come on. The most I knew what he was doing. He knew not to give me the voice to sing, and he knew not to give me a twin. Cause talk about rule the world, man. Come on. But without further ado, I'm gonna just go ahead and get straight into it. Cause listen, I ain't never did this before, so I just wanted to give y'all a nice little intro. But I'm gonna stop the yapping and let the animation do what it do. Now this one is called the Roommate Animated. I chose this one because for one, it got a lot of views, so I assumed that it was pretty good. Two, I don't like roommates. I do not like having a roommate at all. Um, I went to college, graduated. I had a roommate. I still got my little cough, y'all, so bear with me. I had my roommate my freshman year and my sophomore year. My freshman year roommate was cool. My sophomore roommate, he was cool, but the way we lived our lives, it didn't really mean, intertwine. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I'm gonna stop talking. Let's get into it.
Looking
Roommates.
for a new roommate is always a daunting task. Even though you interview and take the time to get to know that person, you don't truly find out who they are until you start living with them. I had
Interviewing
begun
people.
searching for a roommate after I decided to leave my current residency. I was
Man, they
contacted a
got
couple of
random
hours after
roommates,
placing an ad on the Facebook Marketplace.
or I hooked
The
up with my
message
friends
read,
about it.
Hey Chris, I'll be moving out of my current apartment this August and I'm looking to room with someone new, as my roommates are moving to California this year. I'm 27 and I'm currently going to school. When I'm not at school, I enjoy hiking and watching movies. I also apprentice at a taxidermy shop on the days I don't have class. Hope that's not weird. It's always been a fun hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Have a great day, Lunaire.
Hold up. My boy Chris, he clicked on the right one. She a cute little blondie, you know. What is taxidermy? I'm gonna have to look that up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up right now. So taxidermy is the art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals with lifelike effect. What? The art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals with lifelike effect. So I'm assuming they're fake animals, but the animals look real. I don't know. Hopefully, we learn a little more in the animation.
My first and most obvious reaction after reading the message was to check her profile. She was of medium height, had long, messy blonde hair and green eyes. In her profile picture, I saw her standing with a man and a woman shoulder to shoulder. They each adorned goofy grins and held up peace signs. Under the photo, the caption read, "Love my roommates." I smiled to myself and decided to send her a message back. The sun beat down on us as we hoisted various objects to the second floor of our new apartment. It took us a couple days to get everything out of the moving trucks and into our new place, but as soon as we did, a wave of relief washed over our sweat-drenched and sore bodies. After a couple more hours of rearranging, we each grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat on the porch. We reminisced about old 90s cartoons and what video games we obsessed over as kids. And as the sun started to set, I truly felt relaxed and confident that things were going to work out. A week later, I started a new job for a construction company that was owned by a good friend of mine. As I was getting ready, I heard the front door swing open. I walked into the living room to see Lunaire and her friend David sliding in a large box. "What you got there?" I asked. Through a strained grunt, she replied,
I bought a freezer to store some of the animals I'm planning on using in my taxidermy work. I hope that's alright.
I was obviously hesitant at first, as there
So they're using real animals. Okay, we got that. Yeah, that's crazy.
was no mention of this happening in the first place, but I eventually accepted and returned to my room to continue getting ready for work. I came home at around 9 p.m. after having a couple of beers with friends and noticed that the freezer was nestled snugly in the lower part of the pantry. A low hum could be heard reverberating off of the inner walls. I was curious to see what was inside, but didn't want to intrude on Lunaire's business, so I went into my room and changed into more comfortable clothing.
I say,
What exactly is the sandbox then?
It's a 3D metaverse. The building blocks are voxels, which are like 3D pixels.
After changing, I came back out into the kitchen and started making a sandwich. I opened the fridge and grabbed what I needed. As I turned around, I stubbed my toe on the edge of the island countertop and let out a long, exasperated grunt. Through my frustration, I slammed the fridge door shut and checked my toe to see if there was any bleeding. As I raised my head back up, I was greeted by a shadowy figure. Lunaire was standing in the doorway leading to her room. The darkness behind her almost seemed to envelop her.
Is everything okay?
She said in a deadpan tone. "Shit, yeah, I'm sorry. I just slammed my toe into the corner of the countertop as I was making a sandwich. I hope I didn't wake you,"
It's fine.
she said in the same deflated tone as before. She then turned around and walked back into the darkness of her room. I could tell that she was pissed, so I quietly made my sandwich and retreated back to my room as well, only hearing the low hum from the freezer as I closed my door. I had the next day off, so I was able to sleep in a little longer than usual. When I finally emerged from my room, I walked into the kitchen to make breakfast. As I opened the refrigerator, I noticed that the light wasn't turning on and there was a lack of cold air escaping from inside. I turned around and flipped the light switch to confirm my suspicion. Sure enough, the power was out. "Damn it," I muttered under my breath. I walked over to Lunaire's room and knocked on her door to tell her about the power outage if she didn't already know, but there was no answer. I then remembered that she had classes that day and probably wasn't home. I walked back to the kitchen and past the pantry. As I did, I slipped on the floor but was able to catch myself on the countertop. "What the?"
My boy
I angrily
clumsy.
exclaimed as I looked down at the floor trying to figure out what I had slipped on. It was blood. It had started to leak from the corner of the freezer and pool onto the floor. I quickly tried to open the freezer to find out the cause of the viscous liquid, but then I noticed that it had a padlock attached to it. I don't remember seeing that before. I ran out to my car and grabbed my toolbox from the back seat. I approached the freezer and set my tools down on the nearby countertop. I then pulled out a small pair of bolt cutters and snapped through the metal of the padlock. It fell to the ground with a large thud. I creaked open the top of the freezer and was greeted with a putrid stench that permeated my nostrils. I quickly pinched my nose and walked away gagging in response. "I guess I should have realized that was going to happen," I muttered to myself in between gags. After gaining my composure, I grabbed some gloves from under the sink and started taking inventory. I could see a couple of dead birds and plastic bags wedged into the corners of the freezer.
And
I
her
took
name
each
Laura.
bag
Laura
out
tripping.
and set them in the trash can nearby. That's when I noticed that the blood was coming from the corner of the larger black bag. I don't know why, but I decided to open the top of the bag and peer inside. I was greeted by large, milky white eyes, a swollen black tongue surrounded by cracked and bloated lips, and the matted hair of a human head. I swiftly dropped the bag and fell backwards onto the floor. My breathing had ceased to exist, and I grabbed the trash can next to me and expelled my disgust into it. I then ran out the door, got into my car, and called the police. As I sat in the interrogation room with a blanket over my shoulders, I couldn't help but think about the face I'd seen. It looked so familiar. That's when it finally hit me. I pulled out my phone and looked at Lunaire's profile picture. It was her old roommate, the one she said was moving to California. When the detective entered the room, she started the questioning process, asking me if I started noticing any weird behavioral occurrences around the apartment. Yeah, I stubbed my toe the other day and she creepily stood in the doorway. It seemed like she was pissed, but for some reason I had a strange feeling like she was concerned about something. That's when I connected the dots. She didn't come out into the kitchen because she heard me stub my toe. She came out into the kitchen because she thought I slammed the freezer instead of the fridge. A cold sweat started to form on my forehead as my surroundings became blurred. I could hear a low whine slowly starting to cover up the words of concern from the detective. As my vision started to clear, I could see another officer enter the room and whisper something into her ear as he handed her a piece of paper.
Don't come in there whispering.
"Do you have somewhere you could stay at?" she asked. I mean, I was planning on staying with my parents. They live about 30 minutes outside of town. Okay, she paused. Listen, I don't want to worry you, but we found this picture inside of your apartment. She slid the piece of paper across the table, and I immediately felt like someone kicked me in the chest. The head of Lunaire's other roommate sat on the chair. In the background, scrawled on the wall in blood, read, "Love my roommates. All of them."
This is probably the main reason I ain't never found no random roommates. Cause what? Are you sick? Come on. Oh, that was it. What's the extra 2 minutes? Oh, then.
Does this ever happen to you? You find out about an awesome show, so you grab your snacks, click on the video, and then you need NordVPN. If you haven't heard,
Honestly, that was cool. I ain't. It was a nice little animated series. I ain't gonna lie. That was it was cool. Um, yeah. So, like I said, I would never find random roommates because you can find any psycho. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. Now, hold on. I take that back because in college you get random roommates. At least at my school, I got random roommates. So it could have happened. Definitely could have happened. Could have ran into that one psycho. But I kept to myself. It seemed like he kept to himself anyway. You know, obviously, the first couple weeks or so, you want to hang out with the roommate. Feel each other out, get to know each other, make sure they not no psycho. But yeah, come on. She said she works at a taxidermy shop. Now I didn't even know what it was, but had I read that, I would have definitely, did my due diligence and did the research to figure out what that means. Once I found out that it was stuffing animals and whatnot, yeah, no, I'm good. Next, and I'm happy she was honest about that because that's something honestly, if I was in her position, I would have kept that a secret. Cause yeah, I would feel like most people would pass me by. Um, excuse the cough. But yeah, that was nice. I'm excited to do more of those. Please comment below if y'all like it. Like if you like the video. Yeah, that's crazy though. Roommates is not my thing. And you, honestly, there are signs. I feel like there was a recent killer or a serial killer or something that the news was talking about, like recent, like last month or something. And there are signs, whether they are killing animals, hint hint, or you know, making animals fight. I used to actually make insects fight. I'm not a serial killer though. I wouldn't. Yeah, gotta do what I gotta do. But I ain't no serial killer. Nah, I ain't no killer. I ain't no murderer. You know. But seriously though, that was nice. Great job, Llama's art. I'm definitely gonna react to more of y'all's videos because that was nice. I'm gonna take some notes too because I want to get into animation. So you know, if y'all wanna collab or something, hit me up. But you know, like I said, y'all, please leave a comment. Please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that button. Hit that button. Support the channel. Tell me y'all want more. I'm trying to give the people what they want. But yeah. Chosen out. Peace.
Everything I spit is hot like 100 degrees. I've been grinding non-stop, I don't know what's fatigue. I've been ballin' with my dogs who should be in the league. You make me feel like I'm a king once you get on the knees. Call my nigga for that Zai, he like what you need.